What's up, meatbags? It is the Chicano Stanley, the chosen one of CG, the one, the only Frog Tony. Today, we're going to be giving my thoughts on Funko Fusion. That's right. But before we get into that, let me remind you to like the video, share it with your friends, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, right off the bat, you should know that Funko Fusion was given to me. I got a review copy of it. Now, if you want to pick up a copy, it's going to run you about $60 unless you get it on a sale. You can get this on the PlayStation, Xbox, Switch. I believe it's on Steam too. But what is Funko Fusion? Well, to sum it up really succinctly, Funko Fusion is Lego at home. It is the Great Values brand Lego game. That's the easiest way I could put it. Going more in depth, it wants to be Lego so bad, but it just isn't. So in Funko Fusion, you pick from different worlds, different Funko lands, as you can see on the screen. Started with the He-Man world because He-Man is what I grew up with in the 80s, so I was like really looking to dive into it. Now, unlike the Lego games, you only get one character. It's not two characters, and you switch between them to do levels. It's one character. You can switch your characters throughout the levels by finding the little Funko boxes, and they're like switch points. And like Lego, you can destroy things, and you get instead of Lego bricks in this, you're getting vinyl, and you can use that vinyl in various ways. You can use it to unlock chests. You can use it to buy items. You can use it to unlock crowns, which are the things you need to collect as far as the story goes, and we'll get into that later. So the vinyl is there. It's like the bricks, but they got different uses. But it's not satisfying. For some reason, when you're playing Lego, I love the Lego games. When you break the bricks, when you're destroying things, and you see them splatter, and the bricks go everywhere, and you get that nice Lego noise, it is super, super satisfying. But here in Funko Fusion, it's just not. It's like it just feels cheap. In Legos, it makes sense. Everything is made of Legos. Everything is Lego bricks put together. You want to see them smash. You see them flying everywhere. In this, it's just stuff. It's just normal things. Because Funko is not really a brick brand. It's not like Legos or blocks or something, right? It's just the toys. It's just the little collectible doll guys, right? So everything in the world is just normal, and you break stuff, you destroy things, and you get vinyl from it, but it just doesn't feel the same. It doesn't have that same like I want to break everything in a level type feel that a Lego game gives you. Like it's there, and I'm doing it because I'm just trained to do it in Lego games, but like I said, it doesn't have that same satisfying feeling as a Lego game. Now, unlike Lego games, in Funko Fusion, you have to replenish your health by actually buying health potions or finding health pickups. If you die, you have to pay. You have to spend vinyl in order to revive your character. And it can get pretty expensive if you die a lot, which again is different from Legos, makes the game a little bit harder at certain points. Just like Legos, there's different things you have to blow up. And the He-Man level, if you blow up 7 mini castles, you unlock a chest. There's some puzzles. There's some areas where you have to come back and with different characters in order to unlock the little puzzle or whatever. So, like I said, it is very, very much like Lego, but also just a worse version of it. The gameplay feels a little stiff. The amount of characters are a lot less because it's not focused, right? A Lego game, like a Lego Batman, is focused on Batman. So it's like all these Batman-related characters and stuff, right? Where this is Funko Fusion, where it's a bunch of different worlds. Like you got He-Man, you got Five Nights at Freddy's, you got Jurassic Park, right? And so instead of having a huge character roster of like, say, 30 Jurassic Park characters, 30 Scott Pilgrim characters, 30 He-Man, instead you got like 5 of each, right? Because they're trying to balance it out between all the different worlds. And then you end up with something like Voltron, who gets one. You get one Voltron Funko. Now, the other problem is a lot of the characters just feel samey. They don't really feel unique. Lego had so many different abilities, so many different skills and talents and stuff for the characters. But they felt different. They felt fun. You want to try them, see what the different abilities were, see what they can do. There's so many different ways you can unlock puzzles, and you could pass areas by going back with different characters. In this, a lot of characters don't even have abilities, and then the amount of abilities are so low, and the character count is so low that a lot of them are just overlapping, and it doesn't have that same feeling of I want to pick a different character. I want to see what the different powers are. So keep that in mind. Now, another thing you got to keep in mind is the story in Funko Fusion is so much worse than the Lego games. And I hate to keep comparing it to the Lego games, but that's basically the closest thing to the Funko Fusion, right? The Lego games. Now, the Lego games, again, because they're dedicated to a particular series or a particular theme, is very focused. They have a very robust story. It's unique to see the characters done in Lego style with all the different Lego bits and pieces and blocks and stuff, right? This, it's just everything is samey because Funkos are all pretty much samey. And then, like I said, the world is just generic because it's not unique. It's not uniquely Funko, right? It's like the Scott Pilgrim world just looks like Scott Pilgrim. It doesn't look like a Funkoed version of Scott Pilgrim. Whereas, Jurassic Park just looks like Jurassic Park. It doesn't look like a Funko Jurassic Park. Whereas in Lego, you play Lego Jurassic Park and it looks like Jurassic Park, but Legoized, right? It looks like a Lego version of Jurassic Park. This just looks like toys. Again, the Funkos look like Funkos, right? The rest of the world doesn't have that cohesion. Sound effects are good. The music is great. Story, really bad. Now, apparently, Funkos have lore. I didn't realize this, but Funkos have lore. And Freddy Funko's the king of the Funkos, and he has a Funko crown, and that grants him powers or something. Like, it's really not explained at the beginning of the game. And you just kind of have to accept it that some evil Funko named Eddie, who's like the negative Freddy, comes and steals the crown off of Freddy. What this means, I don't know. Why it matters, who can say? There's really no leaning into oh, here's who Freddy is. Let's introduce you to Freddy. Let's introduce you to the crown and tell you what this does and why it's important. And then the villain comes and does his villain stuff, right? No, we don't really get that. It's just kind of like, hey, here's Freddy. Oh, now here comes the villain. Boom, stuff happens. The crown gets just broken, and there's crowns everywhere. That's what you have to do. You have to go from level to level, world to world, searching for all the crowns. There's gold crowns that you get from beating bosses and defeating a level. Then there's silver crowns that you unlock in chests and various puzzles and stuff that you complete. And that's really it. That's the game, right? Eventually, you will fight bosses and defeat Eddie and save the day, but it's not compelling. Again, each world is what it is. So you go into the Scott Pilgrim world and you got to play basically through the Scott Pilgrim movie, but the world just feels small, right? Like the He-Man world feels small. It's like they're zones almost, right? It's almost like mini zones. So in the Scott Pilgrim world, the first levels, the zone is just the club, right? And then you go to the next level, and that zone is just the outside area of the movie studio, right? Or the movie shoot for what's that? Chris Evans' character, I forget, from Scott Pilgrim, right? And each one, it just feels small. It doesn't feel like a big world. 10 years ago, maybe this would have been okay. This would have felt good. But for 2024, a modern game, it feels small, confined. Again, probably because there's so many different worlds, so many different levels, right? They wanted to keep each one small in order to really pack it in and make it as accurate as possible. Whereas if you do all Jurassic Park, you could reuse assets, you can reuse things and spread it out to make the world bigger with less actual thought and put into it. But because the worlds are so diverse here, they have to be smaller in order to probably save money on development stuff, right? You can't have a huge Scott Pilgrim world and a huge He-Man world and a huge Jurassic Park and a huge, right? So you got to be small with everything. And that, I think, really hurts the game. I think if they would have focused on maybe less franchises, maybe like He-Man, Scott Pilgrim, and Jurassic Park, just 3 of them, right? We didn't need Battlestar Galactica. We didn't need Five Nights at Freddy's. We didn't need, the other things that they got in there. I don't want to spoil anything, but if you would have just had that, then I think they could have had bigger levels, bigger world, and everything would have been more epic and more fun. Right now, as it stands, Funko Fusion, this would be a good rental title, right? You rent it, play for a couple hours, take it back after the weekend's over. I can't recommend this at the price for what it is, for the fun factor. It's just not there. I didn't really enjoy it, and again, kind of had to push myself to play the game just because I knew I had to do a review. Right? If I had bought this on my own with my own money, I probably would have gave up on it a lot sooner. Right? So ultimately, that's my thoughts. Let me know. Have you played Funko Fusion? Have you tried it? What are your thoughts on the game? Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you think that it was a good first attempt? Maybe a sequel. Iron Out the Kinks could be a little better. I know they're offering some free DLC and there's some paid DLC that's came out for it. The game looks like there's potential for a lot more DLC, but we'll see because I don't know if it's been a success. Like I said, for me, it's not great. But until next time, love, peace, booty grease. Be out this bitch.